boy, do we have a video for you. Today we are going to be harvesting from our garden and then cooking what we harvest to make a wonderful meal. Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. It's me, Jesse. Please go ahead and do me a favor and like, share, subscribe to this channel so you can get more content like this whenever it's available. Your support means a lot to us. Let's go! Right here we have longevity spinach, which is precumbens. It's a type of Asian spinach, primarily in China. Although it's not a true spinach, it's eaten as such. And here we have a Malabar spinach. Both of these are growing in containers. They love the heat. Malabar spinach in particular loves the heat. They're perennial here in zone 9A, meaning when it freezes too cold, they'll die back, and then they come back with vigor in the spring. And also we're going to be using Moringa. This is a Moringa cutting from one of my previous videos. These are the three primary vegetables that we're using in this dish. But on top of that, in the background, we have something called a bitter melon or bitter gourd. It grows similar to a cucumber, and we're using that as well. And here is the parent moringa tree, also a perennial. Every year, this tree dies back all the way to the ground and then grows about 20 or so feet during the summer, even with me harvesting from it. So what I've gone on ahead and done is I've cut the longevity spinach and I've cut the Malabar spinach. We're using leaves and shoots on these two spinaches. Both the leaves and shoots are edible raw for longevity spinach and Malabar spinach. For the Moringa, the shoots are a little bit strong, almost medicinal. So what we're going to do is we're going to strip the leaflets from the stems on the Moringa. And here we have the bitter gourd, also known as bitter melon. For all my Asian, African, Caribbean friends, Indian, this is something that is used all over the world. A little bit less in North America and Europe, but in Eastern Europe and Northern Asia, Southern Asia, Southeast Asia, it's used all over. It grows similar to a cucumber or a zucchini, squash, but it is bitter and it's really healthy for you. And here we have chili Tepin, also known as Chili Pekin de Montana. It grows in Central America and spreads up through Texas. Probably you can find it in California, New Mexico, Arizona. It's really spicy. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is wash everything with a water and vinegar solution. It's all fresh from my garden, no chemicals, no additives. But we just want to go ahead and make sure everything is clean. I'm going to go ahead and bleach all surfaces afterwards, but this is just the vinegar and water solution that I'm rinsing everything in. And here's how I like to do my moringa. These are fresh moringa with a young stem. You just pull the leaves off. You leave the little stemmy pieces behind. Okay, so you just strip them naked. Leave the little stemmy pieces. So you're left with little skeletons from your moringa. You see that? So I'm going to go ahead and do another one for you. See how that's stripped? You want to try not to incorporate those, especially if you're doing it raw. Now I am cooking it, so you can afford to have a little bit of the small, very small stems. But the larger stems are extremely medicinal and very potent. It's just like an apple tree. You wouldn't want to eat the bark or the branch of the apple tree, would you? Okay. But for this moringa, we're just gonna take the leaves off. When you get to the very tender stems at the end, they're totally edible. And I'm cooking it anyways. So the really soft, super soft ones, you can incorporate them, but not much more than that. Some people do take more of the stem, but like I said, it's very medicinal. Proceed with caution. So after I separate my moringa, I'm going to go ahead and wash it. Again, I wash with a vinegar and water solution. The reason I like to use a colander for moringa is because it allows for good airflow, and eventually you end up with dry moringa, kind of like that. You can dry it in your refrigerator or anywhere. Now for the bitter melon, take the little ends off. Then you cut it in half. Now that inside part is the most bitter, so people will scrape all that out. And you see there's some immature seeds in there. I don't think those seeds will germinate because they're immature. When this is ripe, the whole fruit will turn an orangish red color, and the inside will be as red as this knife. And the seeds will also turn red. And you just cut up your bitter melon, also known as a bitter gourd. Okay. Similar in size to chunks of bell pepper. This is a little noisy, but we'll make it. So fine as to where you don't know it's there, do you? Now I'm also cooking with some of the stems from my Malabar spinach, which the stems are edible raw, but I'm going to go ahead and put them in here because they're a little tougher than the leaves. So I'm going to cook them along with the bitter gourd. Every part of the Malabar spinach is totally edible. Same with the longevity spinach. I'm just going to cut parts of the stem in there. It's just added interest and texture. Okay. Because what we're going to do is we're going to start with these parts first, then we're going to add our leaves, and then we're going to add our egg. As I mentioned, this is 100% edible raw, so it's fine to cook it. The longevity spinach and the Malabar spinach. Moringa, some people do cook the moringa stems when they're young and tender, I'm not doing that, but some people do. So we have a non-stick pan. I'm going to roll that up. Go ahead and get these going. As far as my eggs go, I am doing 6 eggs. At the bottom I have a little bit of gluten-free almond flour because that's what I like to do. So I'm doing 6 eggs, and I will be bleaching the countertop. That little piece of shell, I will be using bleach on my countertop after this is all done. I like to use a fork on my eggs when I'm trying to beat them together. That's 3. I also like to mix that flour in early before the ratio is just totally off and it's not going to work. Okay, and these are some super wonderful eggs Rebecca got me. I'm doing 6 eggs because these eggs, this is for more than one person. So here we go. We're going to beat and mix that together. Beat and mix that together. My eggs, I'm going to add a splash of milk. So a little bit of milk to the eggs, and we're going to continue mixing that together. And as I told you, there's some flour in there. Gluten-free almond flour. You can use regular flour, you can use rice flour, brown rice flour. My sister likes to use banana flour. Did you know they make banana flour? Now you know. Okay, and so why do I have these spoons here? With these little peppers, if you don't have a pestle, what you can do is take 2 spoons and just smash them together and get all that goodness out in the eggs. These peppers are so small, I wouldn't try to fry them up first or saute them first. They're just too small for that. So we're just going to mix them straight in with the egg. My people. And of course, I'm going to go ahead and add, this is Himalayan pink salt. I'm putting in there with those eggs. I'm gonna put a dash of black pepper, even though we already got those chili peppers. I'm gonna put a dash of black pepper. Now this is my seasoning, alright? A little bit of garlic powder. Garlic powder makes everything taste better. I'm putting ground cumin, which is El Camino. Because I try to be healthy, I'm going to add a little bit of splash of turmeric, which helps with inflammation and joint pain. You can hear the bitter gourd sauteing in the background. And I'm going to let that keep going for a little bit. So let's go ahead and stir this up. Okay. Here we have the bitter gourd. It looks beautiful. And we're going to go ahead and let those simmer for a few minutes. Now I should have mentioned that Moringa has a wonderful flavor of its own. When it's raw, it's pretty strong. As it cooks, it gets a little sweeter, but it does have a spice and a kick to it. So I put the Moringa in along with the stems to give it a little bit longer to cook. Also, I didn't want to over season it because Moringa has a strong flavor already. So we're letting the vegetables cook with the lid on them until they simmer down a bit. You know how spinach is. Spinach is going to shrink up for you, and that's exactly what we want to happen. These aren't the typical spinach. These are nicknamed spinach, but they do the same thing. In fact, the Moringa is used oftentimes in Indian dishes and African dishes and Asian dishes, a tandoor dish, other things. We also have the longevity spinach. You can use kalaloo in this. Some people call them Moringa, but there's another kalaloo as well. You could probably use kale. That'd be great. If you just use regular spinach, it would be like a frittata, what we're making. I'm making it a little more like an omelet, but it could be like a frittata using regular spinach. But these spinaches are a little bit healthier for you, and that's why we're featuring them on the awesome Healthy Gardening channel with Jesse. That's right. And these are all things that I grew in my garden. Everything except for the eggs and the milk. Every vegetable that you saw me put in there has been grown in my garden. It's really so I just checked on those ingredients that are under a lid, and I'm going to go ahead and add the egg to this. And I'm going to go ahead and show you this is what it looks like right after adding the eggs. And it's going to cook just like omelet. And I'm going to fold it, and there we have it. Omelets, you want to cook it for a few minutes with the lid on to help it cook evenly. Oh no, something happened. My camera was not on, but my omelet flip was a little bit of a fail. And yeah, it's a little brown, but that's because of that almond flour that I put in there. Made it a little brown, but we shall see what it tastes like. So let's go ahead and clean it up and see how it tastes. I'll go ahead and give myself the darker half. Now by coincidence, Rebecca also got me goat cheese. So I didn't make this omelet with any cheese. You may or may not have noticed. Let me go ahead and try a piece of it. So why don't you try this for yourself? You'll be doing yourself a great favor. It's really healthy and it tastes good. Until next time. Happy, healthy gardening. Bye. That is good. That is really good. That's delicious. And I just bet one of those peppers. Chili Tepin is the other name for it. Also chili Peking. Montana. This is so good. Well, I don't want to have you just watch me eat. But once again, like, subscribe, share with all your friends, share all of your social media. Until next time, happy, healthy gardening. Bye.